Oscar Davenport and Bonnie Holiday. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to tell us a little bit about themselves, about 30 seconds. Oscar, where are you from? Who did you play for? What are you doing now?
Well, my name's Oscar Davenport. I'm originally from St. Petersburg, Florida. I had a great college career at the University of North Carolina. Didn't get a chance to pursue my, I guess we say NFL career. Just I had some injuries, but didn't get to that level. But I got a chance to play quite a few years in arena. And I'm currently I'm coaching, and at the same time I'm running a little small electrical business.
Okay, and so what was your position at UNC Chapel Hill?
I was a quarterback.
Quarterback, and
Yes,
how
sir.
long were you there? For 4 years, 3 years?
Yeah, 5 years from
5
'94
years.
to '99.
Okay,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Holiday?
And I was just failing to mention he was QB1. I mean, he started at Carolina, did
Yeah.
his thing there, and until he got hurt.
Yeah,
So I
appreciate
played
you.
with Oscar.
Yes.
Okay.
He came in same year, class of '94, 9.
Yes,
always
9
represented.
quad, hit squad.
So excuse me, so Oscar, when I ask you questions, I need you to let the
Yes.
world know who you really are.
Well,
Is that okay?
oh, Dilly, what?
Bonnie?
Yeah, my name's Bonnie Holiday, 15-year NFL vet from Camden, South Carolina. Went to the University of North Carolina, as we talked about before. Played there 4 years. Was drafted in the first round by the Packers. Played for the Packers for 5 years, the Chiefs for 2 years, Dolphins for 4, and then the last couple of years floated around a little bit trying to chase the ring. So I was in Denver, Washington, and then I traded to Arizona where I finished up. But
Okay.
enjoyed my playing career, met some really, really cool people. Wouldn't change anything. Now I'm coaching, mentoring, training kids, hand-to-hand combat, position-specific training, venture capitalist, still doing a lot of stuff with my charity, a lot of stuff back in South Carolina, and just enjoying.
So you're still
it.
very busy.
Yeah, I
That's
try-
good.
I try to stay busy. It's tough. It's tough when you get out of the league and you're doing something so regimented for so long,
Right.
and then you find yourself not in that anymore. What do you do with all your time?
Right. So this question is for the both of you guys. Who do you look up to who helped you along the way or gave you interest in football?
Yeah, it all started with my father. Like I said, when I was playing Little League football, I can always turn to pretty much the stands or the sideline where the gate was, and he would always be there, you know what I mean, supporting me. And it was a motivation factor. As I began playing Little League, I ended up having like a Mighty Mike coach, Coach Ingram, and he ended up being my AAU coach as well in basketball. But he showed me at a real young age how to throw the ball around.
Okay.
And then as I went further, I had Coach Myrick, who was my quarterback coach in high school, which was a brother, which I guess that just, he taught me how to do good fakes, just elevated my game. Coach Palmer, my head coach at the high school, they got me an opportunity to go to college. And from there, when I linked up with Mac Brown and the rest of the staff, and as well as Vonnie Hunter and the rest of our guys, we had something real special. And one guy I didn't get to mention, just growing up, Marcus Tukes. He was my uncle's best friend. And when we were growing up, we would play touch football in the street, but we played tackle when you got into the grass. And he was so talented. Like, he can play any position, quarterback, receiver, running back. And I was so mesmerized with the talent he had that I think it motivated me to keep pushing myself.
Right.
Because he ended up, my family got into an altercation, Martin Luther King birthday parade, and he ended up getting killed. And my family was all out there when the incident happened, so that was kind of like influential in me wanting to keep pursuing and stay on track and kind of like stay out of trouble.
Okay, I appreciate that. Mr. Holiday?
So I come from a family of athletes. I can say we're very competitive. We always have been, and so I had older uncles and cousins that played, and I used to watch play, and so that competitive side of me, I always wanted to be better than them, and so I guess that's where it started. And then, you know, like Oscar, we can go down the list. So many coaches. I grew up in a single parent home, but I had 5 moms, which I think was probably tougher than growing up with a mom and dad in the house. And so my uncles and my cousins, it was their job to make me tough, right? They didn't want me to be soft, you know.
Right.
So you name it, I got it. Every sport, and I was always supported by my family. I played baseball, basketball, football. I remember pitching, and that was back in the days when parents and family could stand right behind the backstop. And if I wasn't pitching well or somebody
It was a problem.
rocked me, they let me know, right? They let me know. And so the pressure was always on. It was good pressure. But I also had the opportunity, Harry Carson, who was the Hall of Fame linebacker for the New York Giants,
Okay.
played college ball at South Carolina State University with my uncle and was one of his best friends. And so I got a chance to meet him when I was in middle school at my uncle's wedding. And from that point forward, I watched him and wanted to, I can't say my dream was to be an NFL player, I'm not gonna lie. Football or sports in general was a means to an end. I needed to get an education growing up
Yes.
in the
Right.
community that I grew up in. And for me, I felt like if anybody was gonna change the trajectory of my family or
There we
our
go.
life, it was going to be me.
Right.
And I was going to use sports to get a good education to do that. And so that was my motivation. And Oscar will tell you, when I got to Carolina, the guys kind of say I was a grown man when I got
Early.
there. I was no nonsense, but I had a lot of weight on my shoulders. I had a lot
Right.
of people that
Depending
was-
on you.
Yeah, depending on me. And so I wasn't there to screw around or mess up. I was there for a reason. And the reason wasn't to go to the NFL. The reason was to get a great education, to get a job. But then when you get there and you compete.
That was a plus,
Yeah.
right?
And you're competitive. Hard work don't care who does it.
Right.
So that was always been my mentality. Go in and you're not going to outwork me. And yeah, I'm going to compete. And that's kind of, I was out there at the right time with a great group of guys.
Great.
That pushed each other. I mean, every guy in that defensive line room played in the league
Yeah.
for at least, they already got a shot to play in the league, right?
Yeah.
And so it was very competitive. And yeah, at that time we were D-line U, and I was one of those guys that came out of that program.
Okay, okay. So Vonnie, you and my son, Heaven, I think you guys made a bet this past weekend. You know, he's committed to Clemson now, and you went to UNC Chapel Hill. So could you tell everyone, what was the bet?
Hey,
I know that wasn't planned, but
that was not planned. But, yeah, we made a bet who was going to win the game. And the bet was, at first I said 50 push-ups, right? But then he was like, no, you got to wear a Clemson shirt if we win for 2 days. So I got to go out and buy an ugly Clemson shirt.
excuse me?
Stank orange.
That's not what we're going to do on the show.
Huh?
An ugly Clemson shirt.
Be
Wear that,
respectful, be
and
respectful.
wear that for 2 days.
So when are we going to see you in the shirt?
ASAP. I was a little
ASAP.
busy today. I don't even know, can you buy Clemson shirts in this part of the country?
Yeah.
Can you match
you
orange
can.
and purple?
So let's just get back, but
Okay.
we're gonna hold you to that. I just wanted everyone to know that Clemson did win, but yeah.
They got us. They did get us. Yes.
So I'm so happy you guys are here today. You know, we have a lot of athletes that are now having to deal with NIL. You know, the notoriety, or some don't have any notoriety, meaning no offers, no this, no that. So there's a lot of pressure, I feel, on these kids, right? Especially, for instance, my son, one of his best friend, he's not experiencing the same, having the same experience as Heaven is having. So I'm sure that can feel or make a kid feel some kind of way. So being that you guys have played on a higher level, what advice can you give to, for instance, the 2024 class, and I say that because my son's in that class, or just anyone with notoriety versus those who do not have notoriety? What advice, Vonnie, can you give to either kid?
So I currently coach high school football too, and so you see it every year. We talked about, my own experience at Camden High. We had a pretty good program, and my freshman year, I happened to get noticed because teams were coming in to recruit Bobby Ingram, who is now a receiver coach at the Washington Commanders. But he played for Penn State, All-American, went on and played in the league for probably 9-10 years.
Okay.
I would say this, because you have the benefit of a guy like Heaven on your squad, you're gonna have eyes on your program.
Correct.
Nowadays, with social media, these coaches do a great job. I know at Holy Innocents, man, this guy, because my son now plays football too in college. He's at UPenn playing outside linebacker, and he didn't have the same success early on that Heaven had. He didn't have the notoriety, but he continued to work hard,
Right.
put his head down, and just grind it out and pursue his dream. And lo and behold, when the chips fell, he had an opportunity.
A great
right?
opportunity.
And
at that.
so I would say this, I wouldn't be envious or jealous of another guy's success.
Correct.
Because their success is going to bring eyes to the program. They're going to bring more people around. And when they do, they start watching that film, you just start showing up on film. That's
Right.
all you got to do. Control the things that you can control. That's your attitude, your effort, right? And have the grades. If you got good grades and you've shown some flashes of some talent or just some grit,
Right.
A lot of times some grit can get you in the door.
Right.
You just want an opportunity. It don't matter how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
Right? No matter how you start. I mean, that old cliche is how you finish.
Right.
There'll be some guys come in and you see it all the time. They're 5 stars. And then all of a
Sometimes they
sudden,
don't even get to play.
They don't even get to play.
Right.
And they transfer 2-3 times and you don't hear about it anymore, right?
Right.
Because, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be a 5-star. I'm saying it's about putting the work in. Sometimes you just experience the success early for whatever reason. These other guys, don't quit. Don't give
Right,
up.
you
If it's
gotta
your dream and your passion, you just got to grind it out. Put your head down, keep working.
Absolutely. So for those athletes who have notoriety, what advice you can give for them on how to handle that as well?
Well, I think you got to have a good team around you, especially because we just talked about it, NILs and all these things right now. I mean, some of these guys making more money than
Right.
Yes.
than guys
All of us did.
And I want something to say behind that,
guys
too.
who are practice squad in the NFL right now.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it is truly. I'm happy for them. I wish that was around when we were playing.
That's what I
Right.
want to say. I actually want
Well,
to.
it was.
I actually want to reiterate on
Right.
that to kind of embrace the moment because I kind of almost, not necessarily a testimony, but when I was in college, I had got to a certain level, to a pedestal, to the point where they pretty much had my jerseys all over the United States. And
wow.
during that moment at that time, it wasn't the NIL.
Right.
So if they did that, what they're doing now, back then, we probably been entrepreneurs before we came out of college. Or we would have had some, to step us up to whatever
Right.
decisions we wanted to make in life. It wouldn't all have been based on just getting to the league to make the money in order to make investments or whatever the case. So definitely, like I say, embrace the moment. You have to work hard. You have to do extra work. When I got to college, I was a freshman, but I was talented as a freshman. So what I've learned from my old heads that was like on their way going to the league, I had receivers and stuff like that, and DBs would pull me to the side because they liked the way I threw the ball. And they showed me to put in the extra work. So as time went on, like I came in with 2 other quarterbacks. Both of them was actually ranked higher than me coming out of high school. But with my determination, and probably maybe because I was from Florida, like
Right.
Florida has some top of the
They
line
do.
talent.
They
Fast,
do.
everybody's fast,
They
you know what I'm
do.
saying? And with my competitive nature, once we all came together and we competed, like I just stood out amongst them. Like nothing against them. One of them was mobile, the other one can throw, but I can do both, you know what I'm saying? And I was taller than both of them too. So I wasn't the heaviest, but that opportunity of just competing and got a competitive nature, and I ended up, overcoming the guys in my class for quarterback. So I want to just let heaven know, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, like, make sure you're always putting in that extra work, because when you're not working, it's somebody else out there that's putting in the work. And it's not like when you run up against somebody that's gonna give you everything they got to the zeros on the scoreboard, pretty much.
Oh, you about the same size in college you are now.
At 32 slim,
Well, now I met you recently, but Bonnie, you've changed too now. Because remember, I knew you back in high school, and you were
Whoa.
you were a heaven,
Yeah.
I was a 300 pounder.
So
Yeah.
did you
Early.
you purposely lost weight or?
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
I mean, well, I had to work to put the weight on. Unlike
Correct.
heaven, it just comes natural. But for me, I had to work to put the weight on. And so once I was done playing, it was just a matter of not eating as much and taking the protein powders and the creatine and all those things
Right.
that you do. Because coming out, pretty much my whole career, even in college, I don't know if you remember this, but I came in and I played as a true freshman, but I was
True freshman.
30 coming in. And so getting beat up on by my uncles and my cousins certainly
That
helped
was
me.
the help.
But I was something that's called country strong. I was just country strong coming out. But hey, I didn't need to wait anymore, and I'm
Right.
trying to live, man. I played for a long time, and these joints and stuff
It's
took
not
a
the
beating.
same, right?
Yeah.
And so the less weight I can put on as I walk around and try to continue to be mobile and get in the trenches and fight with these young kids
Right.
when I'm training them, the better it is for me. So that's kind of why I slimmed down. Plus, I'm a little vain too. I want to be like OD licious.
Oh, yeah.
And suave when I walk up in the spot.
Sexy slim.
Yeah.
So So we're talking about life after football, right? And that can be a challenge for a lot of people. So Vonnie, being that you had a very successful career in the NFL. How did you handle when you knew it was time to walk away from it? Because although you're still around it, you're training kids, you're a coach. Was there a moment you had that, I don't know, was it an emotional moment? You knew it was time to walk away from it. When you did you have a plan B? Answer that, and also, give advice to kids. You have to have a different plan, because some people don't. And I've noticed that some players, they're stuck. They have no idea what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. Give us some feedback on that.
It's interesting because this is kind of a passion of mine too, that transition from when you're not playing anymore. And it happens to all of us, right? Whether it be a kid in high school, you get to that end of high school and you don't see the field anymore.
Right.
You get to college and all of a sudden there's even a smaller number of guys that make it from college to the NFL, and then you have to deal with that, right? And then in NFL, like, I was fortunate. I'm a guy, we talked about it, I played 15 years. So at the end of 15 years, I thought I had a plan, right?
Right.
15 years, at the end, I'm going to get into broadcasting, I'm going to do all these amazing things. And then you get out and life kind of hits you in the face, right? And so for me, I tell people this all the time, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, right?
I think we all are.
Because I've enjoyed some success, or I've had success in one career, and it's a career that I enjoyed tremendously.
Right.
That brought so much to me and my family, and then so many others. The lives I've been able to impact and encounter throughout this journey has been amazing. But I found myself at the end of 15 years, and it wasn't like I'm like, it's time for me to leave because I wanted to leave.
Right.
You're a kid forever when you play. I was 37 years old and I'm playing with 21-year-olds, right? There were kids who were born in 1990, in the 90s.
And we're going to,
I'm like, what I was
wow.
doing in the 90s? you know what I'm saying? I was starting to play against kids that went to my camps.
Right.
Right? And so Father Time is real. He caught up with me. One day I'm out there, I'm chasing Seneca Wallace. I got stuck in third gear and I could not get out.
Yeah, you can run.
And Seneca laughing at me like, come on, Holiday, you getting old, man. I was like, you know what? I am getting old, right?
So was that a turning point for you?
That was one of those moments where I'm like, man. I remember coming back to the sideline and Larry Fitzgerald, that's my boy, but he gave me a hard time. He's like, B,
it might be.
You ain't got that no more, man. You ain't got that gear no more. And it's true. And that's like a wake-up call. And so I remember after that game, that's something hard to deal with. The realization that the game is passing you by, man.
Right.
Your body physically is just can't do what it used to do.
Right.
And so, and that was, like I said, I was 37 years old. And still out there competing and playing. But at some point, you got to let it go. So I remember after that game, and going into the next off season, I told the guys, like, yeah, this is it. And I said, if someone comes around later in the season who's on a Super Bowl run and they need an old head to come in and just give them a little extra, I'll be ready.
You're that guy.
But that's about it. Because the amount of work that it takes to
get
year in and year out to compete at that high level,
yes.
It's a lot. It's a commitment. And every year you have to, because as you get older, these guys, they continue to come out bigger, faster, stronger.
Someone's always better.
Yeah. And so you have to continually, it's one of those jobs where you're constantly being critiqued, right?
But can you really prepare for that, the emotional part of that?
You can. Like I said, people are like, well, you played 15 years, so you were, no. Even after 15 years, I was not emotionally ready to part ways with the game. Hell, I didn't think the NFL could go on without me. You know what I'm saying? I was around for so long, you know what I mean? I'd see people come and go. I was in it.
Right.
So then after it was over, I'm sitting around and they about to start the season. I'm like, what you mean you about to start the season? What? Holiday ain't up out there. Like, my phone ain't ringing, I ain't in camp. And that went on for several years after that. But it's been a transition, and I'm still transitioning.
Okay.
Right? I imagine that it would be like the train conductor or whoever it is, whatever job you have, right? And you've been doing it for so long, and you put your heart, your soul, and your passion into it, and then there comes a time when you retire.
Right.
Whether it be my uncle that worked for the Attorney General, my mom who worked in a textile plant, it kind of I'm pretty sure it's the same type of feeling where you've done something for so long and it's been such a part of your life, and then all of a sudden it's not.
Right.
And for me, I got an opportunity to stay around the game, and that's why I coach. And I'm glad my son let me coach him, because it was really up on him whether or not I continue to coach once he got to high school. But it allowed me to be around the game. It allowed me to stay young. It allowed me to keep that locker room banter and the things that the minute details of being a part of that sport that you miss when you're not around it anymore. To be able to joke and go back and forth with even my young kids, like having. That's what it's about. Right? It really is. And that's the stuff you miss when you don't play anymore. You miss that locker room. You miss those guys. And you miss the roar of the crowd too.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, it give me the chills. Like, whenever I talk about the roar of the crowd, like, I get chill bumps on my arms and stuff, because that never goes away.
Right, and I'm experiencing that now with all the the games we go to, and I'm sitting here like, this is amazing. Like, and some kids don't even get to experience that. So I tell my son, hey, make sure you you really enjoy this time, because it's only a small time. We think it lasts forever, but even though he's finishing up high school, look how fast that went. I'm like, man, he just got here 9th grade, and now look. So I think that. But Vonnie, so and yourself, if you had to do it all over again, and I ask Heaven this all the time, would you do it? Even with the aches, pain, the body aches, would you do it all over again?
Of course. Well, that's the love for the game. Like, it's nothing like it. Like, people that don't pursue their athletic talents later on in life, they regret it. Yeah. And they sit back and be like, well, what if I did this, or if I made this decision to do this? So, and I try to tell kids all the time, like, you sometimes, because I coach as well, sometimes you coach kids and they get emotional, and some of them be ready to quit. And I tell them, you can't quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, football, definitely football. Football is not for the weak. And if you don't keep pursuing and keep that motor going, you'll get dominated. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I tell kids all the time, not just football, but all sports. When you're young and you have an opportunity, play everything.
Yes.
Try everything. I don't care what it is, wrestling, track, whatever it is, try it, because there's only a small amount of, you don't have a small window to take advantage of those opportunities. And then, as it relates to football, hell yeah, I love what I did.
So much fun.
You did all over again.
I would do the same. And when I'm in bed at night, I'm cradling my shoulder because it's hurting.
You still do it all over again.
And get up in the morning because in my ankle lock up or my knee, whatever, I would still do it all over again. And I would go back to University of North Carolina, and I hope that.
You mean Clemson?
My boys,
did you mean you'll go to Clemson?
No, I'm from South Carolina, like I told you.
So Clemson, okay, go ahead.
And I have a lot of buddies that played at Clemson, but I went to the right place.
I like Mac Brown.
I went to North Carolina.
Yeah.
You guys should have been.
I like Mac Brown.
I tell you.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
And Mac happens to watch this, because I was a closer at North Carolina. When they had to have that guy, I was his host. I just realized that I lost my second player, actually my third player. I let Heaven go to Clemson instead of going to University of North Carolina.
Well, now, but you said that he made a good decision too. No, Come on.
He did.
Yeah, ACC, you can't complain about that. ACC definitely known for trenches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially back when we played, it was gangster. Like, everybody talks about Alabama and Georgia now. But boy, when we was playing,
I knew that. Clemson, yeah.
They went out there.
So my son is in the studio with us today, so I want you to directly, if you had any advice for Heaven, being that you know who he is, what would it be? Real quickly.
Man, go all out, man. Love the game. Accept criticism. Be a sponge. Actually, as well as be a student of the game. If you learn to watch film, man, you get so much of an advantage of other people. Right now that I'm coaching, and it's strange to me because the more I watch film, it takes me all the way back to my college days. But some coaches out here coaching wrong. They're not putting these kids in right positions. They sending kids in motion, like you send a kid in motion, and after a while, I guess the coaches tell them, follow him. And the kid just running around here, you know what he's doing. He just following because the coach told him to follow. Instead of teaching technique and understanding, follow him, and then once he slow down, square up, work your back pedal so you can get advantage on him. So that's definitely be a student of the game, and the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? If you learn how to critique film, and you can start picking up on how people take false steps, and that's gonna take you to a whole nother level.
Bonnie?
Yeah, and I echo that same message, but I would say this from a different standpoint too. Like, at some point, that education, the football IQ, like they all have it, right? So then it comes down to something that you can't manufacture. You gotta have that dog in you. You gotta have heart, right?
Yes.
You gotta want to compete, and not just compete. You can't be afraid of hard work, right? And you know that's that old mentality of bringing your lunch pail to work, right?
Everything.
A lot of people don't have that. You'd be surprised how many people don't have work ethic, who are afraid of hard work. And you can get by with that for a little while. When you're a big, strong, athletic guy such as yourself, you can get away with it. But if you want to continue to progress and take it to that next level, work hard, stay humble, appreciate the moments.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, like he said, be a sponge. Be a sponge. Enjoy the game. And at the end of the day, we're not asking you to be Lawrence Taylor. We're not asking you to be, we just want you to be the best heaven that you can be, and whatever that means, right? For you. That's what it comes down to. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. Compete, and then get as much out of the game as you can for you, while at the same time being that young man that I met was almost 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right?
2.5.
Humble, smart, laughing, enjoying life. When I came into the National Football League, Joe Theismann interviewed me for a pregame, and he said to me, Holiday, as long as you got that glint in your eye and that love and that passion for the game, and you're enjoying it like you are, like a kid, keep playing. And when you don't anymore,
That's when it's time.
It's time to stop, right? So when you're not loving the game, you're not having the fun, and you're not like that kid in the backyard when it's just you and your cousins and your boys playing pick 'em up, bust 'em up, or whatever it is, then it's time to hang it up. But as long as you're enjoying the game and that's going on, man, play it hard, and hopefully the game will allow you to still be a part of it, right? As long as you're enjoying it. And when you don't, you might have to become a coach like a lot of us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And that's the thing too. Knowing that I didn't reach my full peak in football, so I'm trying to just give back to kids and possibly elevate them to one day.
Hold up, he ain't telling you though. OD just won a Super Bowl. He
No,
just won
I
a
was
championship.
And matter of fact, he coached where Heaven started playing for the what do you call the program? The Lassiter program. Yeah.
Yes.
So they just won their championship for the second time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Back
it's
to
like
back.
the circle. It just
Yeah,
comes back
because
around.
the one time I did, I was like, "Hey, heaven
That's
knows
right.
the players and
Yeah.
the parents, and that was a small world."
He actually probably would have went there or Walton, but we decided to go a different route. So yeah.
But I appreciate being able to pretty much almost make history at Lassiter. Like, they don't have a lot of championships,
Right.
and I've been blessed with a great group of guys. It's so coincidental that about 3 years ago,
Hold that one thought.
Okay.
One thought.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get this in because we're about done.
Yeah,
I know
short
the
daddy.
show is just
Short daddy.
I know. I'm gonna have to have you guys to come back. So, are you doing any training still? I know you train my son, and you're very busy. Are you taking on new clients, new athletes?
Always, and it's really by word of mouth. I don't have a business card out there right now, and I know that you do a better job of that.
Well, what we're going to do is put some of your information or our information on the screen so they can reach out to you if that's okay. We know even some of Heaven's friends have been wanting to work with you. So, Oscar, do you do any outside training? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually train too. I actually been having a little project with my backup quarterback.
Okay.
He only been playing football for like a year and a half.
Okay.
And he's made strides. Over the last couple of years with the success we've been having, I'm actually finna start a rare air. Not necessarily rare air, but it's gonna be like a passing oriented type of program where we're gonna dissect and we're gonna perfect the passing game.
Okay.
So what OD's telling y'all, we about to put this business together. So it's a one-stop shop, quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And you got to come back here and talk about it, right?
It's crazy. Like,
you got to come back here and talk about it.
You have to come see us perform because don't nobody throw the ball around like we throw the ball around.
Okay. You know, I have to really say I'm proud of you for not making me laugh stupid crazy like you normally do.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you're doing good.
It's
Isn't anybody?
It's
You're doing good tonight.
Oh yeah, you know. I tell you.
Schools out there right now, some college football teams out there that need an offensive coordinator. And I saw OD do his thing this past
Yeah,
weekend,
man.
and
Thank you
he's
for the
good at what he
support.
does,
Thank you for
and
the support.
I'm not surprised you're a good
Good.
coach because you were a student of the game.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
wasn't much of a student of the game at the time, but he was a student of the
So
game.
Oscar, you know we're going to have you as well as Vonnie because Heaven just started his 501c3. So he's putting together a camp, and of course
Okay.
we're going to need you guys to
Please.
be a part of that.
I
Real
like
quick, would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is your funny part.
Uh-oh.
Would you rather be the star of a bad team or an average player on an elite team? Come on.
Well, honestly, ain't nothing average about us. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean, when it comes to a team sport like football, it's a lot of blessings when you have success.
All right, Vonnie.
Man, give me that bread. You know what I'm saying? I played all this time. I was chasing that ring all that time, trying to be a team player. And I'm out here now. Give me that money. Give me the bag.
You want the bag?
Nah, man.
Vonnie.
I know you want that shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm a team.
stop.
You gotta be.
Whatever.
I can't change you.
All right, number two. We got three. Number two. Would you rather win the MVP award or a team championship? Vonnie?
Championship.
Yes, championship.
Championship?
Got
No
it.
MVP? No.
I mean, that's a good personal accolade, but once you become the best, like whoever won the Super Bowl, they always remember.
Yeah, I remember who the MVP
They were the
was.
best of the
I
best.
know the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Would you rather watch a regular season game or a high stakes playoff game that's not doing that well?
I like it up close and personal. You can put me in a juice cooler. You know what I'm saying? I want to see it real
I knew it
close.
was
You know what I mean?
coming. I knew it was coming.
No, it's nothing like being close to the game. It's just amazing that. So Algie Crumpler played with us also in college, and we went to a Falcon game. And this time we just so happened Crumpler got us a suite right there behind the goal post. So as we watching the game, when the team scored, we on the first row. That when they scored, I almost got clotheslined by the neck coming up because I'm leaning over, man. They almost took me to the fifth row. Huh? I'm talking about.
Look at those eyes. baby.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it has been a pleasure. You
Yes.
know, we thought about doing the show an hour, but our
Sure.
time is up. Do you guys have any questions for me? I would love to have you to come back on the Meek Brown Show so we can. We're going to have some athletes come on. We're going to talk about NIL, some more life after football, and any questions for me?
Thank you for the opportunity,
Thank
first
you
and
for having
foremost.
us.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Appreciate
Like,
You guys are the first
You're
guests
doing a
of the
great
third
job.
season. You know
You're doing
that,
a great
right?
job. Like,
First
this
time
is
seeing Meek
A1,
Thing,
and,
Meek Brown Show.
yeah, let get us back on here. You know what I mean? Let's have a part two.
You have some snacks the next time, like some
Yeah.
donuts.
That's what we're doing. That's
Donuts.
Something. That's all.
Huh?
We're still filming.
Beef tips. I mean, what we thinking about?
Did you say
Beef
what?
jerky or something. burnt ends.
You know what? I gave you water.
Yes, you
Was
did.
that not good
You
enough?
said you know how to cook oxtails and all that. Like,
Nah, that would be nice, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do that for the show, though.
Elbow
Yeah.
You're gonna pay for the oxtails,
They are expensive right now, but
right?
you got to feed that big old dude over there. So I know you got some
Yeah.
leftovers, or maybe not.
It's been a pleasure. You guys will come back,
Yes. yes.
okay? We're gonna make sure we put your information up on the screen so people can get in touch with you. When they get in touch with you, reach out to them, okay?
Last thing
Don't make me look bad.
Last thing, what I did learn though, when you're winning, it's so much.
Say that still a lot.
When you're winning, you get so many more accolades as a group. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
man.
I agree.
Yeah, Pace wouldn't know about that, but yeah.
Well, you know, Pace. So we're putting out names now. But Pace is my son did that.
Yes,
You know, so
yes,
I'm very
yes.
thankful. I'm blessed. I'm glad I made that
You've done an amazing
decision.
job.
Yes.
You know, some people thought I should not have allowed him to go to Pace, being that it's a private school, and they didn't think that he would get noticed. But it was kind of the opposite of that, and so I stood my ground, and it's no problems. there.
Beautiful.
If you can play, they're gonna find you now.
Yeah.
And that's what I always told him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're gonna find you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think I'll have you guys back on.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have